Hey, welcome back to Spector Creative. I'm your host, Scott Toy Guru Neitlich, or a reasonable Lego facsimile of him. And I want to talk today about a couple issues that have come to my attention regarding, fans creating items that wind up in toy lines. So let's talk about this. Oh, wait, hold on, come in. Yes? Oh, hey, cool. Red Spaceman dude, I'm so glad you came here. I need you to please look at my internet connection. Something is seriously wrong with it. I tried having this whole online debate the other night, and it kept coming out on me, and I have no idea. Well, okay, I take a look at it and we'll find out what is the problem. Yeah, go. I go take a look right now. Thank you. Okay, so let's try to resolve that issue too. All right, back to the topic at hand. What were we talking about? Giraffe mating? Circularization? Right! Fan creations that wind up on toy lines or in toy lines. So I want to talk about Joe Amato. So Joe Amato is a customizer out there, and he is a very talented customizer. He creates a lot of toys and a lot of custom toys. He winds up on podcasts and at conventions, and he's definitely not a shy guy about talking to fans. And again, to say he's extremely talented is an understatement. I have no talent for making custom figures. I mean, I've done a few, but they wind up terrible. And a lot of the figures he makes are very Masters of the Universe related. Sometimes out of the content, such as this version of Web Store when he was on Ambrosia in the 2000X show and grew more legs. And sometimes he does things that are kind of inspired by Masters of the Universe, like doing Thundar the Barbarian and what he might have looked like had he been released in the classic Masters of the Universe line. But he also does some really clever, funny things by kind of doing IP mashups, shall we say, and taking different characters from different movies, different TV shows, and again, showing what they might look like if they happen to be in the Masters of the Universe line. It's really funny, he's really talented, he's clearly got a great sense of humor, and yeah, I wish I had like a tenth of his talent to do this, because most of his customs look like they're actual toys you could probably buy. And, I think he does obviously, figures for commission, etc. So hey, if you're interested, check out his Facebook page and all of that. I especially like the humorous the figures that he does when he brings the humor element into it. I definitely feel like those are things you'll never see from toy companies, and it's great to see customizers take advantage of that particular thing. All right, so let's talk about Sky High, not that Sky High, this Sky High. You're probably looking at him going, okay, who the heck is that? Well, that is a Masters of the Universe classic figure, and he has been named Sky High, both unofficially and officially. And this is what brought kind of this whole subject to not just my attention, but it's sort of been boiling over a little bit in the fan base. So, this character was released as part of a deluxe pack in Masters of the Universe Classic, and you're probably saying, who is this character? Well, back in the 80s, there were a whole bunch of cross-sell posters with beautiful, beautiful art. And in the background of this one in particular, you can see the Wind Raider. See, it's kind of in the top middle there, above Buzz Off and to the right of Orko. All right, so if you look carefully, who's piloting the Wind Raider, it's this dude in a blue helmet with blue arms. Now, this was not a character ever seen on the Filmation show, or in the mini-comics, or in the vintage toy line. So who is this? Well, in classics, because he was talked about online so much as this mysterious character piloting the Wind Raider, this fit in perfectly with the idea of diving deep into the character selection and doing this character from the background of one poster as a Masters of the Universe figure in classics is exactly what the line was all about. So we released him, again, like I noted, in a deluxe pack. He came with the jet sled and a accessory which both clipped onto his back and could be used kind of as a staff that imitated the Wind Raider wings. And on package and in his bio, he was named Sky High. The reason for being named Sky High is, well, to give a little background, Joe Amato, the customizer I was talking about, was the one who named him Sky High. Now, at the time, I didn't know that. I thought this was just what the fans were saying. This is what people online and fans of the brand were talking about this character and just called him Sky High, so you knew who they were talking about. I had no idea at the time that this name traced back to one person. And I've been asked to apologize to Joe for using the name without his permission. And I mean, of course I do. I absolutely apologize to him. But the thing is, I do know Joe. We've spoken, we've emailed, we've met at conventions. So we're not strangers. And I mentioned to him that I absolutely wanted to give him credit for this. I didn't know at the time, or I would have. Once I learned that he was the one who originated the name, I said, well, absolutely we will clear that up because you deserve to get the credit. Of course, I just assumed this was a name fans were talking about. I didn't know who started it. So, if you're familiar with this channel, you know that I do director's commentary on every single Masters of the Universe classic figure, going all the way back to the very first figure, and I'm going in exact release order. So people are saying, when are you going to get to this figure? Well, just look at the release order. That's the order I'm going in. So Sky High has a little while till I get to him. And I didn't feel like doing a video just talking about Joe Amato coming up with the name Sky High. It's a very cool character. He obviously didn't create the look of the character. That was from the poster, from the cross-sell poster. But again, when you have a mysterious character flying the Wind Raider in a poster that's otherwise showing released toys, the question is, well, who is this? So he got talked about. And I didn't feel like a video was worthy of just that. Like, that could be done in 2 seconds. And fans have expressed that they're not too happy that I haven't done a video about just this. I was holding this off for the director's commentary because I thought it would be a great piece to put in with that. But yes, of course, I do endorse Joe, and I apologize to him that I didn't give him credit at the time. Oh wait, hold on, Spaceman's back. So, what is the deal? Why is my internet not working? Well, you'll see, how do I explain? Instead of a modem, your internet was hooked up to a toaster oven. Wait, well, yeah, doesn't a toaster oven, like, warm things and make things toasty and nice? Isn't that what the internet's all about? No, you have to actually have a modem. You cannot get internet connection with toaster oven. Oh, that would explain it. So this is fixable? Oh, yes. I replaced toaster with actual modem Wi-Fi. You good now. You can do all interviews online. Very good. No more toaster. Only modem. Whew. Well, that certainly explains things. I guess that's the last time I use a toaster for that. I guess I'll just use it to heat up my pineapple pizza from now on. All right, let's see. So where were we now that we got that resolved? Let's see. Giraffe mating habits, worldwide conquerors of the 17th century. Joe Amato, customized figures. Yes, okay. So, Sky High, Joe Amato, awesome figures, awesome customizer. Besides naming Sky High, which, again, once I learned about it, he also created a lot of sort of original characters, and some were based around cats. Both, Battle Cat as a human, as well as doing sort of Battle Cat Panther-esque figures for other characters, sort of using their color scheme and their deco and their accessories, the figures like Stinkor, and saying, okay, well, this is what Stinkor's pet cat could be, the way Skeletor has a pet cat and He-Man has a pet cat. So if you had something like Anti-Eternia He-Man, he probably has an Anti-Eternia Battle Cat. Sure, sounds awesome. Definitely get where the idea for that comes from. Another one of the cats he created was a version of Battle Cat for Faker, which he called Copycat, the robotic cat of Faker. He came out with this during the time of Classics. He, modified a Classics Faker figure and also modified a vintage Battle Cat. Again, way more talented than I'll ever be with doing this. I don't even know how he does some of this stuff, like resculpting and all that, but it turns out nice. Okay, so why are we talking about this? Well, recently, as in 2 months ago, at PowerCon 2021, and that clearly dates this video, Mattel came out with a 2-pack of Faker as a repaint and a cat, which Mattel called Duplicat. So, same basic concept as what Joe had created as a custom and put online to share with other fans, but now officially a release from Mattel, and the name was Duplicat versus Copycat, which is what Joe named him. So a lot of fans are asking Mattel to both recognize Joe as the creator as well as apologize to him, and a lot of people are asking me to do that, which, for the record, I can't possibly apologize for something I had nothing to do with. I didn't work on this figure at all. Real quick, though, about the pack, if you were asking what's with that Faker figure, the reason he has those dark eyes and extra little pieces like Skeletor's loincloth and the Havoc staff in Faker colors is this was a figure released in India by Leo Toys back in the 80s. Mattel licensed Masters of the Universe to different toy distributors around the world. Argentina had Top Toys, India had Leo Toys, and sometimes they made modifications to the figure. Why they did this, I don't honestly know. But it's been a variant, and it looks a little different than the regular figure in terms of the skin color, the extra parts. He has Skeletor's loincloth part. He has, again, the Havoc staff and the black around the eyes with the deep red pupils. So, it makes an easy repaint. I mean, once you've got the He-Man and Skeletor parts and you can make Faker, well, why not do a redeco of Faker? Pretty easy, especially if there's already precedent in the fact that there was a vintage toy in this deco, even though it wasn't released in the US, which does make it one of the more valuable vintage toys if you have this one, and it's, there's definitely a lot of fan demand. So it makes sense that Mattel would reissue this for Origins because, a lot of people didn't have it as a kid, and, it was a valuable variant and a legit variant. Okay, so that brings us to the question of why won't Mattel apologize or give credit to Joe Amato for this? And there's a very simple reason. Mattel, like every other giant company, so this is not about Mattel, this is about all companies, it's a general thing, do not accept what's called unsolicited material. So if you've ever tried to send a story, a concept, an illustration, anything to a company, whether it's Marvel Comics, like when I sent them Mighty Spector in like 1987, or Mattel, or Hasbro, or Jax, or NECA, any company. This is not about Mattel. This is about all companies. They don't accept unsolicited material, meaning material that's unasked for, things that you just send them randomly. And they won't even look at it. They'll stamp it unsolicited and literally send it back or throw it out. This happened with a lot of times when I was brand manager. I would get stuff in the mail and I had to submit it to legal, and they would do this. The reason is big companies have big pockets. And as you probably know, people like to sue big companies because they're sort of easy targets because they have a lot of money. So putting out an item, sending it in unsolicited, if the company then makes it without recognizing you, you could say, oh, I sent that in. Unsolicited material clauses allow the companies to have plausible deniability because they can say, hey, this wasn't submitted officially to us. We stamped it unsolicited and we sent it back. So they're not trying to steal ideas. In fact, they're not even supposed to look at unsolicited ideas. And it's not as much, about having your head in the ground, it's protecting the company so that they don't wind up in a situation where somebody submits an idea and it gets made and then the person turns around and sues them. There are, the evil geniuses out there who try to do this kind of stuff, which is why companies have unsolicited material policies in place. You can't do this. If you want to submit an idea to a toy company like Mattel or Hasbro, they have websites to do this. And on these websites, you usually have to fill out a form saying that you are submitting this idea to the company for their official consideration, and there's paperwork, and they can either accept it or reject it. Sending an idea or even posting it online as a way of sort of trying to get the company to make the toy doesn't work. And it also protects the company because if you just throw something online, like a picture, well, the company has plausible deniability that they never saw it because it didn't go through their official submission system. So saying you want the recognition for something you posted online, just saying it, it's never going to happen because a company isn't going to do that because it opens itself up to lawsuits, and companies have to protect themselves. That's why they have unsolicited material policies. You could say something like Duplicat showing up as a cosmic coincidence. You could say a brand manager saw a copycat and decided to do it officially. There's no way to prove it. There isn't. It's going to be protected by plausible deniability and unsolicited material policies. That's just the way it works. All right, I hope this video explained, why people can't get credit for things they post on the internet, whether or not companies actually make them. And there's this legal wiggle room. What do you say? It's all companies do this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do share it with others, and I look forward to chatting online now that I have a real modem.